In this age of, well, rapidly advancing artificial intelligence, there's this question buzzing around, isn't there? It's shaping how we live, how we work, how we connect online. What does it really mean to create or to earn, or maybe even just to be in this new digital landscape? Are we actually mastering this incredible technology, or are we maybe being subtly mastered by it? Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take your sources, we try to unravel their complexities, and really unearth the most important nuggets of knowledge. Today, we're embarking on a deep dive into a really insightful article. It's titled The AI Dilemma, Mastery or Subjugation, and it's penned by an Australian lawyer, Adrienne Park. Her background is, well, it's pretty unique. She blends a deep understanding of information technology with rigorous legal expertise and this dual perspective. It gives us a fascinating and I think incredibly relevant lens to explore how AI is fundamentally reshaping our digital lives, our interactions too. We'll unpack her insights, moving from things like online branding in an AI world all the way to the maybe often overlooked legal pitfalls of AI-generated content.
Ultimately, our mission here is to illuminate what this all means for your place, your agency, and, well, your future in this rapidly evolving digital sphere. So let's jump in. Let's explore what Adrienne Park has to reveal. Okay, so to really appreciate Adrienne Park's perspective, it's probably worth noting her journey a bit. She started with graduate studies in information technology, then she pivoted to law. Now, this isn't just an interesting career path, right? She actually reveals it led her to what she calls a profound realization about the critical role of the legal system. It almost sounds like her tech background didn't just inform her legal thinking, but maybe fundamentally shaped her understanding of why legal frameworks are just so essential now, especially in the digital age.
Exactly. Yeah, that combination of IT and law, it really gives her a distinctive advantage, I think. What she highlights from this viewpoint is the immense value and preciousness of human qualities right now, at the dawn of AI. In a world where algorithms can mimic so much, she argues, are inherent human traits. They become even more critical. And this is particularly evident, she emphasizes, in the significance of online brand marketing, both for individuals building a personal presence and for corporations trying to stay relevant. It's really about cultivating that unique human signature in a sea of, well, increasingly sophisticated machine-generated content.
So if human qualities are that precious, how does AI fit in? It almost sounds like a contradiction. But Adrienne Park suggests AI can actually be leveraged. She calls it a tool for recreation, specifically to enhance one's personal online brand. So it's not just about what AI can automate for your business, maybe. It's about what it can help you redefine about yourself. Could you maybe elaborate on how she sees AI fostering that kind of personal growth?
It's a brilliant point she makes, yeah. What Adrienne seems to mean by recreation here is that the process, the act of using AI to shape your online presence, it isn't just an external thing. She says it often forces us to confront our inner selves, to make deliberate choices about, well, which aspects of our identity, our values, our expertise we want to amplify. Like imagine you're using AI to draft social media posts or maybe design a personal website. In doing that, you're not just feeding it prompts, you're actually curating yourself.
Okay, so the act of directing the AI forces self-reflection.
Exactly. This act of self-curation, even if it's with an AI assistant, it becomes this kind of profound reflective exercise. You're defining your strengths, you're clarifying your message, you're solidifying your professional and maybe personal identity in a really tangible way. Through this, she argues, we can cultivate greater self-confidence and esteem, which in turn, she says, injects a newfound vitality into our lives. It's sort of like using a digital mirror for self-discover, right? Where the feedback loop from your AI-assisted brand helps you understand and then project your best self.
That's actually a really powerful connection, technology and self-development. But now, Adrienne also turns her attention to something, well, maybe a bit more tangible for a lot of people. Wealth creation. I mean, we're constantly bombarded with videos, aren't we? Claims of substantial revenue streams, anything from thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars, all from AI-generated short-form content. It kind of promises this shortcut to financial freedom. What does Adrienne Park's analysis reveal about this new gold rush, and how does it stack up against, traditional paths to wealth?
Yeah, this phenomenon, it definitely represents a pretty significant shift. Adrienne highlights that, in the past, wealth creation strategies were often exclusive secrets shared among the affluent. Think about complex investment algorithms or maybe proprietary market insights. They were often kept under wraps.
Right. Closely guarded.
Exactly. Now, with platforms like YouTube, there's been this radical democratization of this knowledge, or, well, at least the appearance of it. And this has indeed led to a new generation of wealthy young individuals who seem to just bypass traditional career paths. On the surface, I mean, this sounds incredibly empowering, doesn't it? Opening doors that were once shut tight.
Hmm.
The barrier to entry for content creation has just plummeted, and AI provides tools that accelerate that process even more.
It does sound like a revolution. But, if we've learned anything about revolutions, it's that they often come with unintended consequences.
Hmm.
So while this democratization of wealth sounds incredibly positive, what are some of the maybe less obvious, perhaps troubling side effects that Adrienne Park uncovers here?
Well, yeah, this rapidly expanding landscape hasn't come without its significant challenges, that's for sure. The article points out that legally uninformed individuals relying solely on personal experience are now widely sharing methods for profiting from AI. They might genuinely believe their methods are sound right, but without a proper legal or maybe even a deep technical understanding, their advice can be, frankly, dangerously misleading.
Okay.
And she says this has inevitably led to a growing number of people suffering negative consequences from just following that kind of advice. These consequences, they can range from, say, losing monetization privileges on platforms to facing copyright claims, or even just serious reputational damage when their AI content is exposed as unoriginal or maybe factually incorrect. It's a bit like a gold rush where many prospectors are following maps drawn by people who don't fully get the terrain, leading some directly into pitfalls.
Yeah, that makes sense. And Adrienne Park provides a really stark example of this, doesn't she? She shares the story of an elderly gentleman who claimed to be generating significant income by operating a blog. And his method was, well, simple. He would copy and paste content directly from ChatGPT without any modification.
Haha.
Now, this sounds kind of harmless on the surface, right? Maybe just a retirement hobby. But what's the deeper issue here, according to Park?
Well, while it might seem like just a benign way to, engage with new tech, Adrienne Park really digs into the serious implications. The concern isn't just about his personal blog. It's the broader issue of disseminating information generated by ChatGPT without any domain expertise.
Right, no filter, no fact-checking.
Exactly. This isn't just a casual error. She says it raises serious questions about the potential for widespread misinformation if the public just uncritically accepts this unvetted content as factual. I mean, imagine if this blog was about health advice or financial planning or even current events. If the AI hallucinates, which they do, or maybe draws from biased sources, and then that information is presented as authoritative without any human oversight or real expertise, well, the consequences for public trust and informed decision-making could be really severe. It just underscores this critical responsibility that comes with the power of AI content generation, the absolute need for human vetting and expertise.
That example really hits home, the point about critical thinking. Okay, so moving from misinformation, let's talk about ownership for a second. There seems to be this common understanding, and the article notes it, that content produced by ChatGPT is not subject to copyright. And this often leads people to believe it allows for derivative works. Basically, you can take it, change it a bit, and call it your own. But there's a really crucial distinction here, isn't there? It's not quite a free-for-all, despite what maybe many assume.
This is such a critical legal nuance and one that many people seem to overlook, just to make sure we're on the same page. When we talk about derivative works, we basically mean a new work that's substantially transformed or built upon an original piece. Think of, like, a movie adaptation of a book, or maybe a new song that samples an older one, but adds significant new creative stuff.
Okay, so the transformation is key.
Right. The key is substantive alteration. Adrienne Park really stresses that while the idea of AI content not being copyrightable might imply derivative works are always fine, it is absolutely crucial to note that using ChatGPT's output verbatim without any substantive alteration can still constitute copyright infringement.
Wow, okay. So even if the AI-generated text itself isn't copyrightable, like per se, if it closely mirrors pre-existing copyrighted material that the AI was trained on, or if you're just not doing enough to make it truly your own, you could still land in hot water. That sounds like a bit of a tightrope walk.
It really is. Yeah, you can't just copy, paste, and claim it as your own original creation without any meaningful creative input from your side. You have to remember, the output of an AI is often essentially a recombination of its training data. And if that training data includes copyrighted works and the AI's output then closely replicates parts of those works without significant modification from you, well, you could very well be infringing on the original creator's legal rights. This is exactly why, from Adrienne Park's professional standpoint, she views ChatGPT not as a direct content generator, but best utilized as a guide. She states it quite directly, actually. The quality of its generated content remains, for now, significantly underdeveloped, and I do not yet see a compelling need to use it directly.
That's a really powerful assessment, isn't it? Especially coming from someone who bridges both technology and law like she does.
It is.
It really challenges that popular idea of AI as just a set-and-forget-it content machine.
Yeah.
So, for anyone out there listening, creating content with AI, what's the practical takeaway from Adrienne Park's view? What should they be doing to, stay on the right side of these legal and ethical lines?
This is absolutely critical for anyone hoping to leverage AI in their creative work or their professional work. The key takeaway really is that thoughtful engagement and, again, substantive alteration are paramount, absolutely essential. Don't just prompt and publish. Use AI maybe for brainstorming or for drafting initial ideas, perhaps for summarizing complex information, or even just suggesting different linguistic styles.
So use it as a starting point or an assistant.
Exactly. But then you absolutely must infuse your own unique human creativity, your perspective, your expertise. Rephrase things, reorganize them, add your personal anecdotes, fact-check rigorously, and make sure your voice is unmistakably present in the final product. Merely running something through an AI and hitting publish without your unique contribution. It not only risks legal challenges, but it also, frankly, devalues your own brand and your contribution in the long run. It really has to be about collaboration with the AI, not abdication of your creative responsibility.
Right. Collaboration, not abdication. I like
So this whole discussion seems to bring us to this powerful dichotomy that Adrienne Park presents. Will you be governed by ChatGPT, or will you be the one who governs it? And this isn't just philosophical musing, is it? It has profound real-world implications, especially for how our content will be perceived and treated on digital platforms, probably in the very near future. It's a question that really cuts to the core of our agency in this new era, I think. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, yeah, we can definitely anticipate a surge in regulations. It seems inevitable. Adrienne Park points out that YouTube's current policies already state that repurposed, repetitive, or machine-generated content is ineligible for monetization.
It's already happening now.
It is, and this isn't just some minor policy tweak, it's a really clear signal. She says we can anticipate that more regulations of this nature will be implemented in the near future. I mean, think about it. Platforms are incentivized to maintain high-quality original content. That's what keeps users engaged and advertisers happy. A flood of generic, unoriginal AI content that just dilutes the value for everyone. So yeah, we'll likely see more stringent rules around what kind of content gets rewarded and what gets flagged or even penalized. This will probably affect everything from search engine rankings to ad revenue.
Okay, so if the platforms are tightening their grip, it really begs the question, how will they even know if content is AI generated? I mean, the AI is getting better all the time. But what's fascinating here is the rise of AI detection tools. The article highlights that numerous companies and institutions are developing programs capable of detecting AI-generated content. So we're going to see this proliferation of AI detection tools, such as GPT-0, Turnitin AI detection, Writer.com AI detector, and CopyLeaks AI detector. It sounds like a kind of intellectual arms race between the AI creators and the AI detectors.
It absolutely is, yeah. And it's a really rapidly evolving field. It makes you wonder, though, how do these sophisticated programs actually tell the difference? How do they discern AI-written text from human-written text?
Well, the article gives a pretty clear explanation. It says, human writing is characterized by its irregularity and creativity, resulting in varied sentence structures. We naturally switch up our phrasing, our rhythm, our vocabulary. We might throw in unexpected metaphors or make a stylistic choice that's just unique to us.
Right, there's a certain burstiness or variation. Exactly. In contrast, AI often defaults to consistent stylistic patterns and a limited vocabulary, leaving behind inevitable digital fingerprints of its artificial origin.
Ah, okay. So it's not like the AI leaves a literal visible mark, but more of a statistical pattern, like a signature.
Precisely. Think of it like this. A human writer, maybe describing a sunset, might use a dozen different sentence structures, perhaps flowery prose one moment, then stark simplicity the next, and maybe a wide array of synonyms. An AI, especially if it's left to its own devices or without very specific, complex prompts, it might favor a more predictable cadence, maybe a consistent sentence length, and a smaller, even if it's precise, set of words. That consistency, that kind of statistical predictability, that's what these detection tools are designed to look for.
Interesting.
Like a linguistic watermark, really. And as AI becomes more sophisticated, well, so too do the detection methods. It's a constant back and forth. The goal for the detectors is to identify those subtle, recurring patterns that deviate from the, the rich, unpredictable tapestry of human expression.
So, okay, wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you, our listener? We've covered a lot of ground here based on Adrienne Park's insights. We've looked at AI's potential to shape our personal brand, even foster self-discovery. We've touched on the double-edged sword of AI-driven wealth creation. We talked about the critical legal considerations of copyright, the absolute necessity of substantive alteration, and finally, this inevitable rise of regulation and sophisticated detection tools. It's a lot to consider, for sure, but it does paint a pretty clear picture of the digital road ahead, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
And the core message Adrienne Park seems to leave us with is ultimately about choice. It's about agency. Will you passively consume what AI offers, or will you actively choose to command it? The article truly drives home this idea that if you belong to the latter group, meaning the one who chooses to command, then a world of opportunity is about to open up for you. She urges us to cultivate the power, to harness the capabilities of AI, not merely to use them, but to truly recreate and innovate. It's really about developing the skills and, maybe more importantly, the mindset to be an active participant, an innovator, and yes, a governor of these powerful tools, rather than just being passively governed by them.
So let's leave you with this thought. At this very moment, as you listen to this, think about your own digital life. Are you being commanded by AI, maybe more than you realize? Or are you the one firmly in command? And looking forward, what unique human power will you cultivate? What intentional steps will you take to truly harness AI's capabilities? Not just use them, but harness them to recreate and innovate in your world, leaving your own unmistakable human digital fingerprint.